Okay, so today wanted to talk about interest rates and they are going up. So we got to discuss a little bit about what that means for the future, how that affects your buying power. Is the market going to go up or go down because of it? And a little bit of the big picture of as far as why people are moving and maybe what you should do. So I'll say a couple things about the interest rate. So interest rates are going up. I warned of people this last year when I made the last video I made. I think it was the last video. It might have been second to last video I made. I told you guys that the interest rates were going to be going up if inflation happened and we needed to combat that. And if the market was going to crash, then rates would go up. Now, I don't think the market is crashing, but rates are going up as a way for the Fed and banks to combat the massive money printing that we did last year to combat the inflation. So they are going up. They've promised that. They've warned us of this, and we know that. Um, as far as the market, I don't think that, I think people are forgetting that, yes, while real estate is an investment, it is not as much of a guaranteed investment as it used to be. And I don't think people are lost on that part. They're not buying real estate solely for the purpose of an investment. Um, People are buying real estate because they need to live somewhere. They are changing their lifestyle and how they're living, whether it's a bigger house, a smaller house, a different location for schools or whatever. People are moving and they're changing their lifestyle and they're moving and everyone needs a roof over their head. Okay? So that is why people are buying real estate, and I think some people are getting lost. The people I'm talking to are the ones who think the market's going to crash, the ones who think that um, that interest rates are going to completely spike and that everybody who's bought in the last 2 years is going to get completely screwed because the market's going to crash and it's just going to be like 2008. This is not the scenario. Okay. 2008 happened because of the real estate market. All right. There was no regulation. There was no verification of anyone's income. Banks were lending to buyers that didn't have the ability to pay the mortgage even every month, but they didn't care because because real estate always goes up. And so if the buyer can't pay it, they'll just take the house back through foreclosure and then they'll sell it again for more money to somebody else. So it was a win-win situation. Um, and it was a way for them to acquire all this real estate. And then obviously, it all came crumbling down. But regulations have changed since then. So that type of a crash is not what we're looking at here. At the very, very worst, in my opinion, what we're looking at is maybe a plateau in some places, or if the market does crash or go down, it's going to have nothing to do with real estate itself. It's going to have to do with the town, the city, the area, the neighborhood, or if some sort of other economic collapse happens, that's when the market would crash, because it would be tied to people's incomes. It'd be tied to other economic and socioeconomic factors that have nothing to do with real estate by itself, right? So don't forget, people have to live somewhere. So if you aren't buying a house to live in, you are renting a house to live in, or you're living with somebody else who is renting, or living with somebody else who has purchased, right? So it's not, you have to live somewhere. And so I think that that's what's going to continue to make real estate go up in the future, even if it's slow and gradual. But I think we're going to see another great year of 2022 of increased prices. And I think the market is still going to be hot. I just don't think it's done. If we are in some sort of you know bullish market here, it's just not over yet. That's all. So maybe we hit a bear market at some point in the future, but right now it's bullish and it's not done growing. People are still making moves, and that's all you need for real estate to be strong. You don't need everything to go up. You need someone to sell and you need someone to buy. And right now, that's what's happening. So that being said, I don't think the market is slowing down. However, if you disagree with me and you think the market's going to go down, and so you're purposely waiting. Okay. I don't think there's a lot of people doing that. That's what I'm trying to remind everyone is people are not buying real estate to try to time the market. They're buying a real estate situation or a house because they want to live somewhere different. Right. But if you're trying to time the market on your real estate investment, like, well, should we buy this year? Should we buy next year? Should we wait after that? I think you should probably buy now. And I know how that sounds coming out of a realtor's mouth. Of course you want me to buy now, Joe. Like, of course you want me to call you and buy a property right now so you can make money. Well, That's true. I do want you to call me and I do want you to buy a house right now so I can make money. But that is not why I'm saying that. I'm saying that because I really think it's the smartest thing to do. There were people who have learned this lesson the hard way the past 2 years. They paid more money for a house that they could have purchased early on, but they decided to wait and see how things went. And then they realized, shit, we got to buy, right? We got to do this now because it's not getting any lower. And so it's going to be the same thing in 2022. And I don't know how long it's going to last, but I don't see it coming down. I don't see it being bearish at all until something else changes. So let's put this into numbers really quick. Every 1% that the interest rates go up is going to take away 10% of your buying power. I'll explain that in a second. But to cut to the chase, there is no way that with a rate hike of a 0.5%, which would take away 5% of your buying power, or a rate hike of 1%, an entire percentage point, taking away 10% of your buying power, there is no way the market is going to drop by that much that fast to make up for your rate hike that you have to pay for. So a $500,000 house with 20% down at 4% rate would be $1,900-ish a month. Okay. Just using rough numbers so we don't get too confused here. The difference, if it jumps from 4% to 5%, same house, same terms, everything except for the rate, the difference is $238 a month, which equates to a $50,000 loan at the same rate. Okay. $50,000 is 10% of 500. So for your monthly payment to stay the same on a $500,000 purchase right now, if the rates go up by 1%, in order for your monthly payment to stay the same, that same $500,000 house would have to sell for $450,000. And there's no way that that's going to happen. It's not going to drop that fast. Even if it does, it might take years for it to drop that fast. And again, I would argue that it's not going down. My argument is that the rate's going to go from 3.5 to 4, so not quite too high yet. It'll eventually get to 4.5 probably. But it's going to go from 3.5 to 4. So you're going to pay more money per month for your interest rate. And the $500,000 house is going to be $525,000 in a year. You're going to have to pay more money for the house and you're going to have to pay a higher interest rate. And so unfortunately, here's a realtor telling you that you need to buy now. And I'm sorry. But that's what you have to do if you're waiting on purpose. Now, if you don't need to move, you just decided a rental, maybe you're living with mom and dad saving money, you're going to wait and see where your job takes you or whatever. There's all kinds of reasons why you shouldn't buy. But if you're sitting out there trying to time the market and you're not buying because you think the market's going to crash soon, you're going to be in for a rude awakening and you're going to have to buy something that's more expensive with a higher rate. And we're not talking like a 4-year deal here, right? You're talking about a rate that's fixed for 30 years. And so in my podcast or whatever this is called from my last video that I made, I was talking about how even if it does go down, you're talking about a 30-year investment. And if inflation happens, what you owe is no longer worth that much. So it's a win-win situation to lock in a low rate now, to purchase at the lowest possible price right now, even though it's not low compared to the last 2 years, it's going to be low compared to next year. And then also lock in a 30-year fixed investment with a rate that's fixed over the next 30 years. So any sort of inflation that happens, if a cup of coffee is $300,000 in the future, well, your mortgage is $300,000 is no big deal. It's just like buying a cup of coffee. And that's why banks have to raise the rates to make up for future borrowers so that they can make their money on the money that they're losing from inflation on the old borrowers. So that's my 2 cents. That's what's happening in real estate right now. Market's not going down. We're still seeing a crazy hot market. And the rates are going to go up now. So there may be a little bit of a plateau here, but I don't think it's going to push too many people out of the market. And even if it does, there's no way it's doing it to make up for the rate increase. It is not going to drop by 5-10% that fast. So get in the game. If you're trying to wait, don't wait. If you don't need to buy, then don't buy. I'm not trying to tell you to buy no matter what. I'm just saying if you're trying to time the market, you should be buying now, not 6 months or a year from now. So that's my 2 cents. Let me know what you guys think. I'm open to constructive criticism. This is what I'm seeing. So maybe I'm missing something and I will gladly make another video if I am. So shoot me a message, comment, whatever, and let me know what you guys are seeing. Thanks.